First-class cabins are supposed to be the pinnacle of luxury. Still, when a black CEO quietly boarded his flight, he didn't expect humiliation on a silver platter. The cabin crew, dressed in pristine uniforms and artificial smiles, quickly shifted their tone when he requested the gourmet dish offered on the menu. "We're out," the flight attendant said curtly, only to serve it minutes later to a white passenger right across the aisle. But she didn't know this ordinary black man wasn't just a passenger. He owned the airline's biggest investor, and 10 minutes later, justice came at 30,000 feet. Marcus Levine wasn't the kind of man to flaunt his wealth. Despite being one of America's youngest self-made black CEOs, he preferred to travel modestly. Well, as modest as a first class allowed. He had built his tech company from the ground up and recently invested heavily into a struggling airline, turning it profitable within months. Now, en route to a board meeting that would determine the next airline CEO, Marcus took his seat quietly, dressed in simple but elegant attire. To the untrained eye, he was just another well-to-do businessman, not the man holding the fate of half the boardroom in his hands. Wait a second, and tell us where you're watching from in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. The flight crew, however, saw something else entirely. When Marcus requested the roasted lamb dish highlighted on the first-class menu, the flight attendant gave him a tight-lipped smile and said it was unavailable. Seconds later, she served that dish to the white executive across from him. Marcus raised an eyebrow. It wasn't the food, it was the disrespect. And if there was one thing Marcus had learned, those who disrespect quietly often fall loudly. The insult didn't stop at the meal. When Marcus asked for a blanket, he was told none were available, yet other passengers soon received them without asking. The tone was unmistakable, dismissive, cold, and laced with something uglier. Other crew members ignored him entirely. Passengers nearby noticed but stayed silent, too polite or complicit to speak up. Marcus didn't lash out. He pulled out his phone, a few discreet texts, a name, a timestamp, a quick photo of his in-flight experience. His assistant responded instantly. Within minutes, the airline's operations director, someone who knew who Marcus was on a call with the airline's CEO. Meanwhile, the crew laughed in the galley. "It's always the ones in designer knockoffs," one whispered. 10 minutes passed. Then 20. And suddenly, a message lit up the cabin crew's service panel. Immediate compliance check requested. Flight ops onboard arrival. Their faces paled. When the plane landed, the mood had shifted. As passengers deboarded, Marcus waited. A fleet of black cars stood on the tarmac. Out stepped the airline's CEO, 2 HR officers, and a compliance officer. Every single crew member from that flight was asked to remain on board. The moment the cabin door closed, Marcus stood up. "I'm Marcus Levine. I own 38% of this airline. I've watched how your staff treated me, dismissed me. I didn't ask for special treatment, just equal." Without ceremony, the CEO turned to the crew and said, "You're all relieved of duty pending termination and investigation." Silence fell over the aircraft. The story went viral within 24 hours. Not because Marcus posted it, but because a fellow passenger did. "I witnessed a black CEO be humiliated in first class and watched karma land with the plane," the post read. Marcus never spoke to the press, but quietly he initiated mandatory diversity and inclusion training across the airline. The lesson? Respect isn't determined by status, but by your integrity. And sometimes, the quietest man in first class holds the loudest power. If you enjoyed this story and found it thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful narratives. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching.